man. Stop. There we go. Lord, Lord, Lord. There it is. Yo, stop, bro. Just taste it. There we go. There we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I had to bring this good news to the people right now, ladies and gentlemen. We got breaking news. Breaking news. Mr. Mark Jefferson Golden has dropped a bombshell. He dropped a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about nuclear, Hiroshima. Yeah. This for me, this one is gonna end Andrew Holness' political career. I'm sorry. Alright? This is bad. Did you like and share the video? If you have not, please do. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell and hit all. Yes. So you can get all notifications. We got Karen in the building. Karen don't sleep like me, ladies and gentlemen. Karen is always up. Big up Karen in the building. Christopher Reed, what's up, man? Y'all come on in, man. Let me give y'all some time to join in. Join in. Y'all gonna want to hear this. Woo! Mark Jefferson Golden. Man, oh man. Why you had to do him like that, Marky G? Why did Marky G have to do them like that, man? Oh my days. Oh my days. Mark Golden just ethered Andrew Holness. He just literally destroyed his own political career. You guys must be wondering, what the hell is Bolo talking about? Yo, trust me. I am not capping. Alright? Trust me. When you hear this, you're going to be like, wait, what? What? No. You're going to be like, yo. Some people are going to understand what I'm saying. Others, I'm going to actually have to explain it to you. But no worries. No worries. All right, here we go. Yes. We are ready. We're ready. We got, who else we got in here? Macy Miller, how you doing? Yes, Macy. Yes, we're going to start the show now, Macy. Alright, we're going to start the show now here. Yes, Macy. Alright, probably your support Andrew Holness. So you want to know what the hell this brother I talk about. Yes, Macy. All I labor right them, come to the front of the class. All laborites. Macy, when I say all laborites, you know, I say all laborites come to the front of the class. Alright, my people. We now go on to hear this. Lloyd Edwards say big up. Good work you have been doing. Thank you. Hey Lloyd and Rosie and everybody. Remember, don't be shy with the cash up on the paper here. Monica, what's up? Gaza Security, big up. Show some love to the platform that way. You see me? Bless up the Macy say I could never be a laborite. Yo. Boy, Macy. Yo, Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Hey, Macy. Trust me. After what I heard from Mystic Sensation earlier, yeah, you could never be a laborite. You couldn't be. You're that wicked to yourself. No, I'm so serious. Like, I don't know how them stand up proud. It is embarrassing. What's going on, Eugene? It is embarrassing to say that, yo, I'm a laborite. Their antecedents is no good in the class, but not. Hey, man, tell me where y'all watching from, man. Salute. Remember to hit the like button right here. Hit the like button right there, guys. See? Get that up to Get that up to 39 likes or 100 likes, please. Let me see if this is working. Let me see if the audio is working. Oh yeah, it's working. Lord of mercy. I didn't want no music, bro. Alright, mama. Yo, I'm talking about the African girls that live in Africa. Jesus. Lord. Telling you, man. Hey. You could tell why the brothers in Africa never had an issue. You feel me? Yeah. The ground is fertile. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the ladies, man. Salute to the ladies. Anyway, let me go to this real quick. I don't want to hold y'all anymore. I know it's late. Let's get to this, man. And I'm going to say shout out to Tina Times. Because Tina Times is the one that had me go like, wait a minute. I should have started this live maybe an hour ago. But I was looking for the evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, Mark Jefferson Golding has written a letter to Andrew Holness. This was yesterday. 1 hour ago was yesterday. It's now 12. Hey, Jeanette, what's up? It is now 12:54 a.m. in Jamaica. It says here, correspondence dated October 3rd, 2025. Opposition leader Mark Golding, MP, right, to Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, on ONPC MP. It says here, Office of the Leadership of Opposition, right? Dear Mr. Holness, I write in response to your letter on September 30th. I want to state from the start that I really want us to finish what we started towards Jamaica's full independence. This means leaving the British monarch as head of state and the British monarch's Privy Council as the final court of appeal. So, our constitution does not come from an order in council of the British monarch anymore. At your swearing-in ceremony at King's House, you said something like, Mark, in quotation, Mark, let's partner together to complete the work we started in Jamaica, in making Jamaica a republic. Mark Golding says, I welcome those words because they match the reality that the government doesn't have a 2/3 majority. Does not have a 2/3 majority in either House of Parliament. This makes it even more necessary for Jamaica's two major political parties to work together if you're going to reform the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, even with the 2/3 majority, Andrew Holness government could not have legally reformed the Constitution. You know why? The Constitution protects itself from anarchy and dictatorship. It is structured in such a way that reform can only happen when both parties actually come together and agree upon what is going to be changed. The other thing I want you guys to notice, Mark Golding mentioned the swearing in and what Andrew Holness said in the swearing in. Let's partner together. So he's making sure I remember what you said. All right, you said that. You was being sly with it. You was showing shade. But look where you are right now. In the first paragraph, Mark Golding made these demands. 1, we have to leave the British monarch as head of state. 2, the British monarch Privy Council cannot be our final court of appeal. All right? So our constitution does not come from order in council of the British monarch anymore. Why is this a checkmate? Let me tell you. Andrew Holness can ill afford to move away from the monarch. Andrew Holness is a part of the Privy Council. And Mark Golding is not going to agree to the final court being a final court of appeal in Jamaica. He's not. Mark Golding is not slow. Mark Golding is not stupid. With the level of corruption that's in Jamaica, we have to have a non-partisan court of appeal. Not one that Andrew and his minions and the people behind him can even try to collude and corrupt in swinging things in their way in any way, shape, or form. So right now, Andrew Holness is being set up, Andrew Holness is being set up. Again, he's a part of the Privy Council. He's not going to want to move away from the monarch. So you see this thing about working together? He knows that he cannot pull one over the eyes of Mark Golding when it comes to legislation. Mark Golding reads, and he's brilliant. You're not going to put something in there that he's not going to see any funny business or any angles that you might have or any loopholes. Because they have loopholes when it comes on to law, right? They have loopholes in constitutions and stuff like that. They have loopholes in the wording of legal documents. And I'm telling you, Mark Golding is feared by the Jamaica Labour Party because of that. Next thing, it goes on to say, I agree that the only way we will succeed in this reform is through real collaboration, like past political leaders did. For example, when debating the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms in 2010, the Prime Minister Bruce Golding said we need to work together on reform because the Constitution requires it, right? Also, on December 2nd, 2021, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson wrote to you saying the solution to constitutional reform requires unity of purpose and action going beyond partisan lines. So Mark Golding just gave him two examples, one of the opposition and one of somebody that led his party, Bruce Golding, and both agree that the only way they can actually do any type of constitutional reform is by coming together. Now look at this. He goes on to say, this approach fits the Jamaican democratic history. When Jamaica was transitioning from colonial status to independence, N.W. Manley, right, Norman Washington Manley, and Sir Alexander Bustamante worked together, just like P.J. Patterson and Edward Seaga did. The big constitutional reform talks in the 1990s, right? That's what they were. Basically, that's what PJ and Edward Seaga was doing. The big constitutional reform in the 1990s. Accordingly, it is you and I, as the leader of Jamaica's two major political parties, who must establish a basis for required partnership if the reform process is not to become another exercise in futility. What does that mean? If you don't do it the right way, Andrew Holness, you will not see, or Jamaica will not see, a constitutional reform under the Jamaica Labour Party. It will be an exercise in futility. Them cannot go around the Constitution, They cannot go around the Constitution. It says here, therefore, in furtherance of your expressed aspiration of partnership quoted above, I was expecting an invitation to meet with you to discuss the way forward as a first step. So Mark Golding is saying he expected Andrew Holness to meet with him face to face, to have a man-to-man discussion, a leader-to-leader discussion, and show respect in regards to this constitutional reform situation. Ladies and gentlemen, this did not materialize. Yes? Now, it says here, however, in your letter, on the reply, you have proposed that I meet with the Minister of Justice. He says, can you imagine? Andrew Holness is telling the leader of the opposition to meet with the Minister of Justice in regards to having discussion for having constitutional reform. Let me tell you, Jamaica, Mark Golding is a general. Mark Golding is smart. You know what this is? Documented evidence of same. Because let me tell you what the Jamaica Labour Party is going to do. Continue to try to blame the PNP for not cooperating with them. Andrew Holness is disrespectful. Andrew Holness is telling the man to go meet with the Minister of Justice. He is not respecting Mark Golding enough to have a sit down with him. Andrew Holness is carrying feelings because Mark Golding called him out for him corruption and him statutory declaration. Andrew Holness win the election and he's still carrying feelings. But he went on stage to act as if he is for Jamaica. Andrew Holness is only for himself. He cannot even move past his own fickle feelings about the campaign of the People's National Party in regards to his statutory declaration and him being somebody that cannot be trusted. Period. I style Mark Golding. So Mark Golding said, with respect, Prime Minister, that approach will not initiate the required partnership of which we speak. So Mark Golding is letting me know. Let me tell you something. If you don't show me any respect, your aspiration of some type of partnership where this government and the opposition is concerned, it will not happen. Especially when we're dealing with the constitutional reform. So, ladies and gentlemen, as much as all them have them plans for republic, ain't gonna happen, Captain. I can tell you that right now because I am guaranteeing you, Andrew Holness will not swallow his pride and meet with Mark Golding. He will not. He won't. He said, so Mark Golding continues to say, I therefore invite you to reconsider the matter in light of what I am suggesting in this letter and looking forward to hearing from you presently. Given that your embrace of partnership was expressed in a public speech, I will be making this letter public as my response to that exhortation. Yo, let me tell you something, man. Checkmate. Listen, how many of you play chess? How many of you play chess? This was a checkmate. Mark Golding is not to be played with. Two things in this is a checkmate. One, a few things are a checkmate. The last thing he just said, oh, I'm going to let everybody know that this is your stance. We're going to make this letter public. I am going to make this letter public. I am putting it on record that anybody that is to be blamed for exercising futility where the reform process is concerned is you, Andrew Holness. Because you refuse to even have a respectable sit down with Mark Jefferson Golding. And because you violate at your swearing in and you are throwing shots and exalting yourself, I am going to make this letter public. Listen to me. Those two moves. Checkmate. Checkmate. You hear what I said? I'm telling you, Mark Golding just ended this man's political career. Because one of his moves, one of Andrew Holness' moves, is to become president. or have somebody he can control to become president when Jamaica become a republic. He was banking on that. That's why Marlene Malahou Fort, when she was responsible for constitutional reform, was making suggestions that they can get things done before the Christmas break and by January, February, because they know elections was coming up. They want to remove impeachment and all other manners of things, keep the Privy Council. Mark Golding said, hell no, it's not happening. It's not happening, not under my watch. As long as I'm leader of the opposition, it will not happen. You see how important it is, ladies and gentlemen, for us to have leadership with integrity. Andrew Holness don't want the opposition. Andrew Holness does not respect the opposition. Andrew Holness does not respect Mark Golding. He will not even sit down with the man and have a conversation about how they're going to move forward respectfully where the constitutional reform is concerned. Right? Mark Golding letting him know, listen, this is what we need to do. We have to include the people. That way, boom, 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 boom. So this is what I suggest. And then Andrew Holness can give him rebuttal or say, yeah man, I agree with that, cool. Have a sit down. Right? Have a sit down. Yo, can you imagine if Andrew Holness, if Jamaica was a country where we could have used force, Andrew Holness would be in some type of conflict with some country somewhere around the world in a jiffy, just like that, because of his ego. Huh? Mark Golding is willing to sit with him, but he's sending Mark Golding to the Minister of Justice. How disrespectful. Mark Golding and the People's National Party. Him violate, you know? Him a try to style them, man, you know? But Mark Golding too smart. Mark Golding put out the letter publicly and make everybody know, say, brother, me a expose you. When it come out to constitutional reform, you don't have any more arguments. If you don't want to sit with the leader, that means you don't want partnership. Partnership does not include you ghosting the opposition leader. Partnership means you sit down and meet physically. You live in the same country, goddammit. You're not too busy. I don't care what you're talking about. Right? And the other thing that is going to make sure that he never sees constitutional reform, Rosie, we know that, man. One thing that we're going to make sure that we never see constitutional reform under the JLP is they don't want to leave the British monarch. They don't. So this right here, this Mark Golding making this letter public, oh, it's over. I'm telling you right now. He has put all the arrows on Andrew Holness government. He has directed all the arrows that Andrew Holness thought he was going to direct on the PMP, like they did with Marlene Malahou Fort, to suggest that, oh, it's not our fault, it's the PMP. Mark Golding just turned all those arrows, and they are accelerating towards Andrew Holness government very quickly. And the only way he can stop it is to actually drop his ego and meet with Mark Golding. And he cannot drag his feet about it. If he doesn't meet with Mark Golding soon, it means he has no interest. Because this letter is dated October 3rd. The latest he can have a meeting with Mark Golding is after October 13th. Because he will have some type of excuse to say, well, you know, I'm dealing with the case for the Integrity Commission. But Lord have mercy, Andrew, you have it by you, know. Boy, you take up some things, man. You have it by you, man. You have Zulika just in a government skin boat about Mr. Arja Dixon, right? You have her in on the skin boat, all these extrajudicial killings. You have Mr. Isaac in our skin. Right? You have the Mr. Dwayne Vaz down there getting on with it, on to business, using up his social media as he always does to give light. No, Mark Golden, Mr. Mark Golden beat and teach them guys of security. Believe when me tell you that letter, you know, normal. The man have it on him Instagram and you can go look. And we should name Tina Times actually took the time out and actually rewrite it on our Facebook, and I see it and I say, hold on there, I start reading, I say, wait, Mark Golden to Andrew Holness, what is a letter about? What is this letter about? And I read the context of this letter and I said, no, Mr. Golden, you are a cheeky fellow. You are a cheeky fellow. The man say your letter. The man say to Andrew Holness say, however, in your letter under reply, you have proposed that I meet with the Minister of Justice. With respect, Prime Minister, that approach will not, and I repeat, will not initiate. What does initiate mean? It will not start the required partnership of which we speak. No, go happen. No partnership go start if you think say you are gonna tell me say for meet with no Minister of Justice. To hell with you, Andrew Holness. That are how them would have said in our country. Where Mark Golden just say are that. You know in a sense, man. You see me? This me a style me. If come tell me about meet with Minister of Justice. You know see me a blurt not leader for your party. How you take me for? Eh? You take me for some small, some smallers. This my boy. Go that Mark Golden said to him, you know, in the most respectful way. May I tell you, brother, may I tell you guys of security. Right? Him done him, man. The man say, in furtherance of your expression, guys, remember Andrew Holness publicly say, yeah man, Mark Golden can we partner. So Mark Golden just go public now and say, brother, yo, a chat. You don't want partner up, bro. You just a talk. Because if you didn't want partner up, you could have never tell me, say, if you go meet with the Minister of Justice. When me I tell you, say, come we meet and talk. When me and you talk, you go talk to your Minister of Justice. And if you want the Minister of Justice to do, they can bring them come to. But you for there, you are the leader. Me nah have a conversation with the Minister of Justice. Me need your commitment as the leader of the party. Hey, Andrew faced in a blur, not still enough. Him rank, you know. Oh my God, someone in no manners. In no manners, the man can't feel in same way, bro. Look at you. The man said at the swearing ceremony at King's house, you said something like, Mark, let's partner together. The man never said, Mr. Mark Golden, you know. Novelet, how you doing? Novelet just coming in. Who want me read the letter again? Me not have a problem, you know. Me not have no problem. Who want me read the letter again? Talk to me. Talk to me. Novelet just coming in. Oh, Novelet just coming in. So, Novelet, so Andrew Holness basically replied or sent Mark Golden a letter. You see me? So, and it has to do with constitutional reform. Remember, right, what he said? So he said here, Dear Mr. Holness, this is Mark Golden talking to Mr. Holness. Dear Mr. Holness, I write in response to your letter on September 30th. So Andrew Holness wrote Mark Golden a letter on September 30th. Right? about constitutional reform. That are the conversation, right? And partnership and everything, right? All right. Him said to him, say, listen, I want to state from the start that I really want us to finish what we started towards Jamaica's full independence. This is Mark Golding speaking, you know. This means leaving the British monarch as head of state and the British monarch Privy Council as the final court of appeal. So our constitution does not come from an order in council of the British monarch anymore. So Mark Golding is letting him know that the stance has not changed in regards to their position and where our constitutional reform should be, at the foundation of. The two things that the People's National Party will not negotiate is leaving the British monarch as head of state and leaving the Privy Council as the final court. In my opinion, I don't think Andrew Holness government will do the last part. The Privy Council, he's not going to leave it. He's a part of it. He's not going to want to leave the Privy Council because he serves the king. All right? Anyway, he says, Mark Golding says, I welcome those words. No. He says, at the swearing in at King's House, you said something like, Mark, let's partner together to complete the work we have started making Jamaica a republic. I welcome those words because they match the reality that the government doesn't have 2/3 majority in either house of parliament. This makes it even more necessary for Jamaica's two major political parties to work together if we're going to reform the constitution. So Mark Golding is rubbing it in Andrew Holness's face that yes, us partnering up is more important and more critical than ever before because you don't have 2/3 of the upper or the lower house. Hey, man, Mark Golding is not to be played with here. He goes on to say that I agree that the only way we'll succeed in this reform is through real collaboration, like past political leaders did. For example, when debating the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms in 2010, then Prime Minister Bruce Golding said, we need to work together on reforms because the Constitution requires it. Also, on December 2nd, 2021, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson wrote to you saying, unity of purpose and action going beyond. No, he said the solution to constitutional reform requires unity to purpose and action going beyond partisan lines. So P.J. Patterson even wrote to Andrew Holness concerning constitutional reform and what is required to actually get it. And, Mark Golding mentioned that this letter as a reference to show him that this is the only way it truly can be done based off past leaders and how they approach it, and those methods were successful, right? He says this approach fits the Jamaican democratic history. When Jamaica was transitioning from colonial status to independence, Norman Washington Manley and Sir Alexander Bustamante worked together, right? Just like P.J. Patterson and Edward Seaga did during the big constitutional reform talks in the 1990s. Accordingly, it is you and I as the leader of Jamaica, two major political parties, who must establish a basis for the required partnership if the reform process is not to become another exercise in futility. So what Mark Golding is saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is that if Andrew Holness doesn't approach constitutional reform in the historical democratic way that Jamaica has always done it, it is going to be a failure. It will never happen. The constitutional reform will not happen under Andrew Holness's leadership if he chooses to move away from how it has been done successfully all these years. He goes on to say, therefore, an inference of your expressed aspiration of partnership quoted above when he said at King's House, Mark, When he said at King's House, that's what he's referencing. Mark, let's partner together to complete the work we started in making Jamaica a republic. So Mark Golden is referencing that statement, that in inference, in furtherance of your express aspirations of partnership quoted above, I was expecting an invitation to meet with you to discuss the way forward as a first step. So Mark Golden is saying, given that you have said publicly how important it is to you for us to partner in making Jamaica a republic, the first step has to be the two of us meeting. You understand? That has to be the first step to start a partnership. Isn't that logical? Doesn't that make sense? I think that makes sense. I don't know if it's just me, but I really think that makes sense. Right? And he goes on to say that, however, in your letter under reply, you have proposed that I meet with the Minister of Justice. Mark Golden said, brother, with respect, Prime Minister, that approach will not initiate the required partnership of which we speak. He's letting him know it won't ever happen. If that's the way you're going to go about it, forget it. I'm not meeting with no Minister of Justice. The first step is us meeting as leadership and then take it from there. I have meaningful discussion. So Mark Golden move on to say that I therefore invite you to reconsider the matter in light of what I am suggesting in this letter and looking forward to hearing from you presently. Mark Golden at him say, you see it? You send me a letter September 30th and I sent you back a letter October 3rd, 3 days after. So I am looking forward to hearing from Andrew Holness. Ladies and gentlemen, let I tell you something. If Andrew Holness don't reply to Mark Golden in 3 days, forget about it. Political suicide. He cannot blame Mark Golden for the lack of progress where constitutional reform is concerned. Blame Andrew. Because you know they love to blame the People's National Party. No, this is the kicker right here. The last part. Given that your embrace of partnership was expressed in a public speech, I will be making this letter public as my response to that exhortation. What does exhortation mean? Me tell you, say, this a man political career done. You understand? What does exhortation mean? It means an address of communication. No, empathetically urging someone to do something. So, he's saying that, Mark Golden is saying that I will be making this letter public as my response to that exhortation. So, he's saying that the public statement. What's up, Patrick? The public statement, I soon tell you, bro, you just come in. The public statement that Andrew Holness made when he said, let's partner together, Mark, to make Jamaica a republic. It was an exhortation. It was a communication of urgency to get something done, right? So Mark Golden is saying, listen, I am doing same. I am doing same. I am making this public to show how urgent it is that we get this done. Let's get it over with. But first things first, we have to meet up. Yes? Patrick, may I tell you, Mark Golden drop a letter for Andrew Holness in reply to Andrew Holness' letter September 3rd. And he made it public on his Instagram. See that? And Tina Times write it out. Let me show you on Instagram. On Mark Golden Instagram. I think I'm Mark Golden, 1 second. Yeah, man, Mark Golden. See it there. See letter there. See letter there. See letter there. See letter there. This is the letter. Letter dated October 3rd from Leader of Opposition Mark Golden MP to Prime Minister Most Honorable Andrew Holness. 449 likes. He made it public. I'm going to put it up on my story. Yo, Mark Golden is not to be played with, bro. I'm telling you. Right? This man is not to be played with here. Let me see this. It says, accordingly, it is you and I as leader of Jamaica, two major parties. Okay. Oh, that's the end of the letter. Oh, it's a two-part letter. So this is the first part of the letter. All right. Are you guys seeing that right? Oh, no. Yeah, you are. Yeah, see that? Right? And this is the second part. This is the signature part, the last part. See? So what Tina Times did was take the time out to write out the letter and put it on our Facebook. And I have to say big up to Tina Times. I really appreciate her for that. Because this letter would have missed me. And I would have got to do this live so early. This is definitely breaking news. Alright, because this was posted. What time was this? 10 hours ago. This was posted 10 hours ago, but it missed me. I only learned about this 2.5 hours ago. I never knew about this. I never saw this. This one missed me, guys. So Mark Golden, Ethan Andrew Holness with this letter. He made it very, very clear. If you don't meet with me, there will be no partnership. So Andrew Holness wants Mark Golden to meet with the Minister of Justice, and Mark Golden is saying, I will not. If you don't meet with me, if we can't sit down and talk, we can't have a partnership. What is a partnership? That's hypocritical. Mark Golden just ethered him, you know. What do you think will be Andrew Holness' next move? Andrew Holness don't want to sit with Mark Golden. Andrew Holness is still mad. He's still upset. It's still burning. Oh, Mark Golden doing in a campaign. He can't get over it. He cannot get over it. And he can't sue Mark Golden. And that at him too. Mark Golden is a liar. Mark Golden is very guarded in what he says. Mark Golden didn't tell any untruths on Andrew about his statutory declaration and the IC report. He never told any lies. You understand? If he did, Mark Golden would have sued him already. Mark Golden would have, Andrew Holness, that's who Mark Golden already for, what do they call it? Defaming his character. He would have. I know him love sue already. Because I see him sue the Jamaican government. So Patrick, that is what is going on, my brother. I read the letter 2 times. That's why I came on. You see me? But something come across my decks. And I'm sure some of you probably are watching already. Something come across my decks. Mystic sensation, my general. You never feel go on so wicked. You know night time, my boss. Nah, man. Yo, me don't know who crush. I don't know who crush Mystic Sensation can, but don't do it again. When you hear, when you own a good, leave Mystic Sensation alone. I'm just letting you know, because this is abuse. This is abuse, ladies and gentlemen. You can't tell you that, right? Right. When me just witness Niger from Mystic Sensation, similar thing happening is abuse. That's one problem. A man batter JP them in a man, oh God. You feel sorry for them, you know? Similar thing happening. You don't know me have soft heart sometimes. I want to listen to this. This worth listening to. This level of awareness. This article says Jamaica debunking the myths about the 1980s under Edward Seaga. So, not only did Mark Golding, in my opinion, totally ended Andrew Holness's political career with this letter, because I think this letter puts Andrew Holness in a very, very peculiar position. I don't know how he's going to move away from this letter and still maintain his agenda. I want to know him stay already. Him though he will not be the posture of the Jamaica Labour Party is that they will not be dictated to by the People's National Party or Mark Jefferson Golding. That is their posture, you know. So guess what now? Are they going to humble themselves? Do you see Andrew Holness humbling themselves, ladies and gentlemen, and sitting down with Mark Golding? I don't. Excuse me. And even if he humbles himself and sit with Mark Golding, do you think he'll sit with him and have a genuine conversation? How do you guys think that would go? I think Andrew Holness might land blows on Mark Golding, or try to. I think Andrew Holness would try to physically hit Mark Golding. What do you guys think? Yo, I need y'all to, before I go on, I really want to know what you guys think about that. You know? Do you guys think if Mark Golding sit down with Andrew Holness would actually try to physically assault Mark Golding? What do you guys think? You think he would try? I think Andrew Holness is bitter. I really think he's bitter, and I think if the opportunity presented itself, he'd probably suck it to try to hit Mark. That's just my opinion. What? But who is me? I don't really see Andrew Holness in a very, very good light. So. Yeah, me know that, man. Listen to this, yo.
Debunking the myths about the 1980s under Edward Seaga. Me know that when we finish with this document, of course, Melting Pot is going to bite into it, Springs is going to bite into it, and Jamaica should bite into this in this level of awareness. Now, this is done on the 9th of June, 2022. Edward Seaga, here he is. Now, Jamaica debunking the myths about the 1980s under Edward Seaga.
Yes.
Jamaica's economic management has taken a turn in fairly recent times and is returning to the very scenario that we have long passed in the 1980s.
Now, for full context, the person that is that wrote this article is a staunch Labourite. I'm talking about the most Labourite of Labourites. Listen to this.
Its compelling lessons, pains, and unprecedented pressures on our citizens for the benefit of our young people. You want I say, people, listen to this, tune in. I want Jamaica to tune in into this. For the benefit of our young people and those who have forgotten that period, I will do a brief revisit so that there is greater clarity about what happened under Prime Minister Edward Seaga and Jamaica Labour Party. Now, the person who I'm talking, properly known, here is him, Shalman Scott. Shalman Scott has been with the Jamaica Labour Party for more than 23 years. So we are not talking about any, donkey funky guy. We are talking about Shalman Scott. Shalman Scott, the stalwart as it relates to Jamaica Labour Party administration. This man coming out to tell Jamaica the truth. Now, for the benefit of our young people and those who have forgotten that period, I will do a brief revisit so so that there is greater clarity about what happened under Prime Minister Edward Seaga and the Jamaican Labour Party. I want Cliff Hughes, Marlon Morgan, right? All of them, listen to this. This article is not a Get Eddie Seaga exercise, but a continuation of my attempt to purge our social, cultural, economic, and political history of lies, half-truths, omissions, and embellishments, and the general dishonesty so commonplace in the reportage and recording of this history. Jamaica, I want people to listen to this. This is Shalman Scott. In short, too much of our history, oral or written, simply lacks integrity, and the political period of the 1980s is no exception. I feel quite justified in writing about the facts of the period reference as I recall and saw it. I do so dispassionately and objectively. I was the first mayor of the city of Montego Bay, JP councillor for 13 consecutive years for the Rosal division in the parish of St. James. This is Shalman Scott. I was also regional supervisor for Western Jamaican Auto for the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union and that union spokesman and tourism. In addition, I was lecturer in Caribbean Trade Union History at the University of West Indies School for Continuing Studies, and a plan this we are dealing with as it relates to Western Jamaica. The Jamaica Maritime Institute and the Jamaica Tourist Board Visitor Information Section, Montego Bay area. I was also visiting lecturer in the History and Social Science Department at the Northern Caribbean University, Mandeville, Manchester. Later on, I was host of the RJR program aired from Montego Bay called The Western Response, produced by veteran journalist and broadcaster Marlene Stevenson Daly. Daddy, I have been a political analyst for multiple media platforms for over 33 years, Jamaica. So this is a well-established person, someone who has built the Jamaica Labour Party. He has never been a People's National Party. Shalman Scott. 33 years in Jamaica and occasionally for the British Broadcasting Corporation. So we are talking about a stalwart, a man of brilliance, a man who has been there, done that. But he has seen where the truthful of the history have been misrepresented, distorted, right? Disinformation and misinformation as it relates to Andrew Holness and his administration. The lie that they told.
The what?
No.
Laura.
I have also been a retired businessman in tourism.
What's up, Laura? Yo, I am going to do a video on this. I'm not going to play all of this. I'm actually going to find that article and I'm going to do a video on it and post it because this is serious. I read something from this brother already. I think I came across this article, but I didn't read it in full. I think I came across an article from him. I don't think this is his first article. I read another article already. Yep, I sure did.
Since 2006. All this to most humbly make the point that I was and have indeed been in the thick of things from back then, and that I have always loved my country and its people who have done so much for me, even as I make my small contribution to it. And so I am continually grateful. That is why I write particularly for succeeding generations, including my own dear grandchildren. What I have been hearing about this period of the 1980s and the impression that the narrative conveys is not only a steep stretching of the truth of what transpired, but the misleading of the young people in particular is of concern to me, and therefore I am compelled to ask, what a man without his moral compass is so tall in talking the truth, speaking the truth to Jamaican people. Eddie Seaga's total political life did not begin and end with this period of the 1980s. Let me go ahead and history, people. While that period is the focus of this article, overall, there are some positives to Seaga's political life, which have been amply recorded in many places, including works such as the production of books by him. Considered by some to be a bright man, Siaga's played no small role in the institutional building of this nation, and I admire him for not being a politician who sought to feather his political nest financially as far as it appears. I'm wanting to listen to people. So the man I give Edward Siaga him kudos, but the man is also talking the truth. This is Sharman Scott, never been a PNP, right? Now, some people trust him to keep their dollar, but he also was far from being a saint. And that side of his personality, political activities and utterances continue to make some people feel uncomfortable, and his tit-for-tat policy made others cringe. Now,
my good man, you know?
To hear all the nonsense being peddled about the period of the 1980s just won't cut it, and I will not allow the purveyors of the rubbish to have field day uninterpreted. He's not going to allow that. And taking more than a cruel advantage of those who have forgotten, like many of those young generation who are jumping around for JLP. Totally lost. Many people lost the history. So Sharman Scott now is bringing them up to par. Those who were too young to recall, and those who were born after this period. This article is dedicated to them, especially as my contribution to their clarity relative to our political history in particular. It is not intended to be an anti-Siaga article, but historical facts about a specific time in our political journey as a nation. This period within the context of the history of the international economy was called the second guided period. I want people to listen to this. The first guided period was known as the Great Depression of the 1929. The second guided period manifests itself in the form of an international debt crisis with a universal political response of structural adjustment in the form of reconfiguration of the economies of less developed and underdeveloped economies, particularly the response from the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the Paris Club was debt rescheduling, restructuring, and debt forgiveness. The finance minister of Mexico in 1982 announced that Mexico would unilaterally reschedule its debt in the first flagging of the enormity of the crisis. The two oil price shocks of the previous decade, coupled with the program of economic destabilization, listen people, which incorporated the flight of capital and massive closure of businesses and loss of jobs, created monumental damage to the tune of some 30% loss of GDP of the Jamaica economy. By 1976, the BOJ ran out of reserves, reflecting a negative balance which lasted for the next 20 years, ending in 1996. Right? This is the end that Siaga was dead, and which he enthusiastically shuffled the deck as the paramount local political agent of the process of destabilization. Let me read back that over. Come on, people forget it. This is the hand that Siaga was dealt, and which he enthusiastically shuffled the deck as the paramount local political agent of the process of destabilization. Any claim, therefore, that the 1980s was a period of progress is one of aggravated dishonesty.
Hey.
Externally, there were serious tensions in the world. These including the Iranian Revolution of 1979, the Iraq-Iran War of 1980-88, the continuing conflict and tension associated with the Arab-Israeli War in the previous decade, which precipitated contortions and distortions and the reconfiguration of the structure of the Jamaican economy in the 1980s. Now listen, people. Siaga lost control and became more of a reactive functionary rather than a proactive and transformational leader. He responded to the challenges of the crisis with abrasiveness, insults, and threats against the Jamaican people. Let me read back that over here. Want to see where this man is coming from, you know. Talking the truth, this man is scraping everything. Siaga lost control and become more of a reactive functionary rather than a proactive and transformational leader. He responded to the challenges of the crisis with abrasiveness, insults, and threats against the Jamaican people. As Sharman Scott is saying this.
Hey, a pressure reach Siaga, you know. You see like how pressure reach Andrew and see how Andrew go on? Pressure reach Siaga, so you start lash out Oh, everything when I mash up. Whole country when I go down in a hole. And he can't explain it without I.
In 1980, when Siaga came to power, the Jamaica debt to GDP ratio was 63%. More people put this in their head now. In 1980, when Siaga came to power, the Jamaican debt to GDP ratio was 63%. Remember that Michael Manley, right, was ruling before. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989.
People, Jamaica debt to GDP was at 63% when Michael Manley did have it. When Siaga take over, I think it reach over 200. Then all them say the Jamaica Labour Party is the party of fiscal prudence and fiscal discipline. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. We'll play that back. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
The Jamaica debt to GDP ratio was 63%. More people put this in their head now. In 1980, when Siaga came to power, the Jamaican debt to GDP ratio was 63%. Remember that Michael Manley, right, was ruling before. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989.
So in a 9-year period under the rulership of the JLP government led by Edward Siaga, we moved from 63% to GDP to over 200.
Before, the debt ballooned to 262% of GDP.
You hear that?
It was 63%. Remember that Michael Manley, right, was ruling before. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989.
262% in 1989. The debt ballooned to GDP ballooned to 262%. Ladies and gentlemen, in a 9-year period, right? In a 9-year period, Siaga brought the debt to GDP from almost 200% more than where it was. He just needed 1 more percent to seal the deal of 200. 199% higher than where he got it. If that is fiscal discipline and prudence, I don't know what is. If that is not mashing up the economy, I don't know what is. Where did they get this idea that the Jamaica Labour Party is the architects of a good economy in Jamaica? If Edward Siaga is one of their best leaders ever, right? Where's Siaga turn to? You can't turn to Bruce. Bruce walk out in a shame, right? Who else you gonna turn to we say, yo, this body though?
In 1989. So while Siaga took over from Michael Manley, which the debt to GDP ratio was 63%, right? During Edward Siaga time from 1980 to 89, the debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989. And me say that, as Sharman Scott saying this, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica indebtedness over the 9-year period of the JLP Siaga administration. Hold on the people, I'm talking to you.
So that was an increase of 315% from where it was. Damn. Boy, Lord of mercy.
Let me talk to the people. When you come here and listen to me now. Siaga took over power in 1980. And in 1983, Siaga called a snap election for Michael Manley. Michael Manley said not contest it. Siaga, who was the Minister of Finance from 1983 to 1989, Siaga run Jamaica having the 60 seats in Parliament and all the municipal council. People want to see the disgrace and the embarrassment. 1983 to 1989, Siaga has no opposition in Parliament.
Patricia, what's up, love? Good morning.
None. Let me read back to the paragraph. I couldn't understand what happened in 1983 to 1989. Right? To show you that the Jamaica Labour Party has no innovation. And when we said that Jamaica Labour Party has never built Jamaica, people coming up with all of them foolishness and all of them lies. See the evidence here now. In 1980 when Siaga came to power, the Jamaica debt to GDP ratio was 63%. Do the history. Run the statistics.
Numbers don't
Between
lie.
that period to 1989, the debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over the 9-year period of the GLP Siaga administration. You tell me, an administration that controls 60 seats, have no opposition, not one opposition, control all municipalities in Jamaica, have the chance to put Jamaica and build Jamaica into Singapore. Damn it, Jamaica!
So, yo, if you did not watch Mystic Sensation earlier tonight, I'm telling you, oh, he was cooking. Because that puts it into perfect context. Because between 1983 and 1989, 6 years, I believe, they didn't have any opposition. So why did the debt to GDP raise between that period to where it was increased to 350% more than where it was? It went from 63 to 262. Somebody make it make sense. Because me not understand. If you have all of the seat them, you have every MP, every constituency, every mayor, everybody, all of it, the 60 seat at the time. Why did the country fail economically under your watch? You don't have any excuses, you know? Who do you point the finger on when you have total power and render the country powerless? Because it's either one, I keep saying it, it's the same blueprint. It's either the JLP are incompetent or they're purposefully destroying this country. Why have I been saying from the other day that these people are the enemy that is formed against Jamaica growth? I've been saying it. These are the things why I say it. Put all of that into context. How on God's green earth did Siaga not grow the economy? How did he get our debt to GDP to 315%? How did that happen? How that spells sense, people? No, sir.
You look on the history. You look on the history. Ask Big Mama to read this history. Ask Jonas Davis to come and read this history. Enough people don't want to speak it. Enough people don't want to talk it. Between 1983 and 1989, Siaga called a snap election in 1983. Controlled 60 seats. All members of parliament. They are JLP. They were JLP.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, Siaga was the Minister of Finance.
Wow.
He controlled the money.
Wow.
All municipalities, Siaga control it. So when we run up and down and talk about road and fixing and way, he has the country with all 60 seats. All the municipalities. Look at that. single-digit growth in the economy in the face of the growth in debt was of no particular significance and consequence. It must be noted that the source of the minimal growth over the period was primarily due to a reduction in oil price in 1986 and beyond. Contrary to popular belief, this was not due to any successful investment projects nor any new investment apart from sweatshops in the garment industry. He let them down to it. That is to show you how wicked and cruel this man is. David Rockefeller, who came to turn Jamaica into the Singapore of the Caribbean, packed his bags and left Jamaica in less than 5 months of his arrival, following several disagreements with Siaga.
Wow.
You're going to listen to the history, man. Come listen to the history.
Let me play that back.
Most ironically,
Let me play that back.
apart from sweatshops in the garment industry. He let them down to it. That is to show you how wicked and cruel this man is, you know.
Wow.
David Rockefeller, who came to turn Jamaica into the Singapore of the Caribbean.
David, who? Rockefeller. Hold up. Wait. Let me look at this. David Rockefeller. Oh, David Rockefeller. Is that like the real Rockefellers? Who came to turn Jamaica into the Singapore of the Caribbean, packed his bag and left Jamaica in less than 5 months on his arrival, following several disagreements with Siaga. Oh my God. Clive says, he's right on point. I'm a witness to some of the wickedness under the JLP government with Siaga and the CIA. I was 15 years old at the time, and the JLP is not a party for the Jamaican people. Big up yourself, Clive. No, sir. Brethren, I am so happy that I found these groups of Jamaicans that are on YouTube that is teaching us this political history. It is so valuable. I love when they dig up the archives and just dash it in the liberate them face. Facts and evidence. Lordy daddy.
Packed his bag and left Jamaica in less than 5 months of his arrival, following several disagreements with Siaga.
Wow.
You're going to listen to the history, man. Come listen to the history. Most ironically, the flight of capital continued under Siaga with ExxonMobil, the principal oil refinery, pulling out of Jamaica. Look for that, people. Herod Siaga single-handedly wrecked Jamaica. The gas station lines were long and uncomfortable as people who had urgent business to attend to were locked in gas lines for hours.
Wow.
Life in Jamaica began to make no sense, people.
Jesus.
No sense.
Wow.
Migration and brain drain gain momentum.
What is happening right now in Jamaica right now? Isn't the people looking to migrate? If most Jamaicans had money, them run from the country. Me hear people tell the PMP them say, somebody say, Bolo, you have to get a ship. You have to get a ship and put the PMP them money. And I'm saying, listen to me. If him things say, me not gonna need 1,000 or 5,000 ship. Not even more than that. Me are gonna need at least 20,000 fleet of ship to move all like Jamaican them with a PMP from the country and left the labor right them by themselves. Because I guarantee you Jamaica will be destroyed. If the remnant was to leave Jamaica and left the Jamaica Labour Party on this country, it will turn into Port Royal. You remember what happened to Port Royal? Because of all of the witchcraft and the sin and them something there and the pirate and the thieving and the you see when it come out to the sex offender registry list, oh man in a government and minister of justice can talk about, oh men are just adventurous. Huh? And oh, if it pass 1 or 2 years, then don't forget, oh, and that would have reached you, see? all of the women we support Jamaica Labour Party. Me say, Koya, if me did have the boat them, me all comrades, Exodus, oh yeah, movement of Ja people. Remember that. Oh Lord. Burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up. Exodus. Find that one. Why timestamp on this? 119. Long time I don't take a copyright claim. You know. Find that one. 119. Right. Now find the Bob Marley. Hold on. The Nora where you going with? You go up in the Nora. Yeah man, I have to find the Bob Marley man. You remember good. So Bob, I say I move bro. Not sure. See him here. See him here. One Bob Marley. Exodus. Movement of Ja people. Remember that. Oh, yeah. Yo, me not tell no lie. When me hear this song, I not no locks and I feel like those shit me natty. No joke, it's a vibe, it's a scale, it's a connection. No joke. Alright? We know where we're going and we know where we're from. Anyhow, me did have the 20,000 blouse and skirt. Big, massive shit them. I want to hear man, I Exodus man. Out. I can't stay. Yo, Jamaica turn Babylon under Holness. So Exodus will leave in Babylon. You're not here, but can't stay there. Exodus. Movement of the people. Yo, when you hear them two now, you're supposed to be a fire emoji in the chat, man. I want to deal with. When you blaze up a fire emoji in the chat, man. No, big up Bob Marley. Big up Bob. 4 or 5. One of them. What I like that 4? Yeah, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Alright. So big up on yourself. Alright, big up on yourself. Oh, no, not that one there. People you know say to all me channel like me channel them, all of my channel them. Me I notice that thing. It's same thing happen to all of my channel them. Me have to go call some content creator and ask them if it happen to them. Money, what's up? Me have to go call some content creator and ask if it happen to them. Because me don't know what go on with YouTube mobile. I don't know Rasta. What's up, right?
Sense, people. No sense. Migration and brain drain gain momentum.
Yes, so that's how we did reach. Migration and brain drain gain momentum in Jamaica and Siaga. And now look at Holness and this government. All I teach them a left. Teacher them say, yo, little more fam. You hear that? Me not stay a fam. 0% fam. That not ready fam. I saw the teacher them say, I don't mean say so. I don't mean say so. You remember good. Right? And we say Exodus. Movement of Ja people. Movement of Ja people. Pass up the thing no EU. Movement of Ja people. Move. Yeah man. So a man said to me, say Bolo, you need a ship for carry the comrade them left Jamaica. I want to start labor right, you know. I say, I'm not even on time, because you see him now, I realize say I want to labor right them way. Like most labor right way you can't reason with. And that's what I do when they start hit them with the truth, they start get loud and aggressive and not going with a bag of things. So when me see him, me don't even yell him. Every single time he see me, he want to talk about politics. And he never yet want to talk about nothing else. So it's because me don't want to talk about politics with him, me not talk to him. Because him can't have a conversation about nothing else. Him can't be truthful about the realities of people's life here in Jamaica, apart from himself. He is so self-centered. You understand? Because everything just so great for him. You know? What are we talking about? When you see Jamaica better, you see Jamaica in the best state ever there. So I don't know what him a get. I don't know. But I can't speak to him tone deaf, like most JLP supporters, them tone deaf to the cries of people them tone deaf. When the people them get abused and them ball out, them blame the people them say for them fault why them get abused. When the police them analyze the youth them blame the youth them say yo I work, they don't want to work. But them analyze a youth where come from work and then I'm house, them bring him downstairs, go in them house, tamper with him camera, tamper with him Wi-Fi, according to reports. Zine and tell we say him reach one gun and it was a shootout and them analyze him in them house. This are the reality until they reach them doorstep. I tell a boy.
The major backside companies followed closely behind Exxon leaving Jamaica.
So major backside companies left Jamaica because of Edward Seaga. I did not know this. Whoa, wait a minute. No, bro, come on. Bro.
You hear that, people? Want to hear this cinema. From 1980 to 1983,
No, I have to play that back. No.
The major backside companies followed closely behind Exxon leaving Jamaica. Want to hear that, people? Want to hear this cinema. From 1980 to 1983, the GLP government under Seaga failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests.
What?
I can read back that over now.
Where's it?
Eh?
No.
From 1980 to 1983, the GLP government under Seaga failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests.
What?
And as the pressure of a rapidly deteriorating economy hits Seaga, he seized on a distraction of the political crisis in Grenada and called a snap election in 1983.
Oh, so he got some type of favor from something that happened in Grenada and then he called a snap election. But according to the report that I read, the news article that I read the other day, that Mr. Wayne Lonesome brought up, the reason why PNP did not contest that election is because there was a verbal agreement between Edward Seaga and Michael Manley that he would not call an election until the consensus was complete. The census was complete. Oh my God. This is hey, you see when they get the right information about the historical occurrences politically, it really put things into perspective. The Jamaica Labour Party has been about this life. It is their characteristics. I was right. The Jamaica Labour Party is the weapon that fought against Jamaica. No, sir.
The PNP did not contest, and so GLP had all 60 seats in the parliament and 21 in the Senate. People want to see the level of work business. When GLP they point out about this and point out that the Jamaica Labour Party stayed in power more time than the People's National Party, but yet the People's National Party have so many social programs. So who care about Jamaica? Who care?
Hey, listen to me. Let me tell you something. I did not know that the Jamaica Labour Party has been running this country for 33 years out of the 63. So they have been running the country more than the People's National Party. And they have not been able in the last 10 years to grow our economy. Do you know how crazy that is when you put it in the context? Not that it's not true, you know, that is actually happening. Because if you're going to boast about financial discipline and prudence, being financially prudent and disciplined and, you know, surviving the shocks and growing the economy and all of these fancy wordings that you're reading off a piece of paper, when you look at the reality of what's happening on the ground, it pales in comparison to what you're saying out of your mouth. And you honestly do a reality check on so many levels. The Jamaican people need a reality check on so many levels. Like I said, for some people, they will not see it until it reaches their doorstep. And that's quite unfortunate. I'm not waiting until it reaches my doorstep. Me I talk and me I advocate on behalf of the people who already have faced it. It needs to stop. We need to get these people out of government. We had an opportunity September 3rd and the people bashed it. We make them bound out to the soul, to the soul. Oh God.
Who care about Jamaica? I'm Carreer. The PNP did not contest, and so GLP had all 60 seats in Parliament and 21 in the Senate. With no opposition in Parliament, Siaga began to indiscriminately wheel his axe. Now, people don't hear this, you know. Instead of the man build the country, you know, people.
Yes.
The man has 60 seats in Parliament and 21 in the Senate.
Yes.
Have as much power, nobody now stop him, nobody now oppose him. He could have passed any policy that he wanted to pass.
Right.
He has the country to build the country.
Yes.
With no opposition in Parliament, Siaga began indiscriminately wheel his axe. This included the tax acts as well as his axing of many government departments, resulting in widespread closure and thousands of redundancies. Mighty God, man.
You hear that? When they say thousands of redundancies, now what I feel like, yo, how old the people lose their work, you know? Yo, Jaja.
Jamaica people look on the document. I don't know PNP write this in. I'm glad I don't know PNP write this in. And
yeah, and that is a key thing. The person that is writing this was never a supporter of the People's National Party. The man is just a scholar and the man that deal with facts. I think this is the only JLP we can say that, yo, above board, this a money.
And what? In May, a man of university caliber, man who within academia, well researched, well studies. You hear what the man say? Instead of Edward Siaga,
yes,
having 60 seats in Parliament and 21 Senate.
Right.
What did he do? With no opposition in Parliament, Siaga began to indiscriminately wheel his axe. This including the tax acts as well as acting of many government departments, resulting.
Wait. Stop telling life on Siaga. Maybe you don't want to labor right there and tell life on Siaga, brother. What you say? The man who not tax the people them heavy.
Widespread quotas and thousands of redundancies. Them never want me find the document, and I'm going to the archive and dig it up in the people.
Dig it up, Dig it up.
18,000 public sector workers lost their jobs See the people, see the evidence.
Wait, what? 18,000 public sector workers lost their jobs? Damn. What? Edward Siaga?
We not tell no lie upon them, you know. I run out upon them tonight. I preach the gospel tonight. 18,000 public sector workers last year.
And ladies and gentlemen, do you know how weak the Jamaican dollar got around that time when Edward Siaga was ruling? Yo, they mother mash up Jamaica. Yo, brother, nobody can tell me. Listen, I'm not gonna have any tolerance for everybody in the comment section talking crap about political history. And listen, brethren,
jobs. He dismantled the structure of local government system, leaving the parish council with the singular responsibility of managing markets and cemeteries, bereaved of funds. The only duty left for mayors to perform without authority of the Ministry of Local Government was that of approving the exhuming of dead bodies. Mighty God. What I'm telling you, brother. And we don't want people about Andrew Holness. When we don't want people about JLP, Jamaica Labour Party government.
Yeah.
We are here in social media warning the people.
Real one.
Now, look at this.
Yo, I don't know what that sound is, but I think it's Pink's mic. I hear that sound. I don't know if it's a revert from our microphone, but anytime our mic is open and they're talking, you hear this like some I don't know, some marbles clashing together. You know what I mean? Or a necklace. You know them necklace there with the fake gem them. You know me I talk. Yeah.
Is the KCC was abolished. Duckingfield and Grain Sugar Estate were closed. Money Teacher College and Jamaica School of...
It sound like somebody in the background and play one game on their phone and it's like shh.
Agriculture closed. An auction system introduced where those who wanted foreign exchange to conduct business could apply to BOJ twice per week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Several hospitals were either closed or downgraded, including Ulster Spring, Spalding, Alexandra, Noel Homes in Lucy, Hardly in St. Thomas, listed to be downgraded. And that is why now DLP know that we are here in social media warning the people. Now, look at this.
Yeah.
The KCC was abolished. Duckingfield and Grain Sugar Estate were closed.
What?
Money Teacher College and Jamaica School of Agriculture closed.
What?
An auction system introduced where those who wanted foreign exchange to conduct business could apply to BOJ twice per week on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What?
Several hospitals were either closed or downgraded, including Ulster Spring, Spalding, Alexandra, Noel Homes in Lucy, Hardly in St. Thomas, listed to be downgraded. And that is why now DLP know the damage they care and show Uno who is DLP.
Yo, listen to me. I'ma leave it right there. This phone battery on charge. Yo, I'm gonna put this out in the morning. I got a few videos for you guys tomorrow, throughout the day. Well, later throughout the day today, Saturday, October 3rd. This is wow. This is actually wow. I am wowed. I am wowed, ladies and gentlemen. I am wowed. But big up on yourself. Thank you guys for pulling up on me. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much consistently the people. It's the same number. I noticed that number. That's where my live stream is at now. It's either they suppress it at 60 something or 100, or if it's a lot of people, it's suppressed at 150 or 200. It don't go no further. You know how I know? Let me show you guys something. Alright, Bolo, if you're in our clips, big up on yourself. Look more. I'm just go end the live here and show them what I mean. Alright, you see this? Look at this. Look at this. You see right here, so what it say? 4+ new subscriber. Normally when I finish a live on this platform, it's at least, and it's over an hour, I get at least double figures in new subs. See, show you what is the peak. The peak amount of people that came through was 33. 14 likes and 47 chats and 4+ subscribers. So it gives you the detail. Lorna, how are you doing? It gives you the detail about how the live stream went, key details, how much new subs they get, how much persons was in the chat, how much typing did they, how much messages did they, if you show you the interaction, you understand? Yeah, so normally I will get double figures for that. You see, on this platform, all of you in our clips, I have gotten 200+ new subs in one live stream. I have gotten 100 something. And I'm guaranteed, you see, when I end this live, it's going to be barely in double figures, if in double figures. I don't know who did. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. But I'm telling you, I don't know if it's me alone happening to, but my numbers have dropped significantly. And the numbers that was there, I was thinking they needed to be higher based off the amount of people that is actually a part of the channel that has subscribed. But who am I? We continue on and we journey on still with the information, yeah? But bless up yourself, big up on yourself, and look out for the content in the morning, guys. The word is love. Peace.